There we go. Ah! It wasn't mute. It was the mic wasn't set up correctly. Look, it's been a bit. I'm not gonna know if everything's working properly. You know? Ah! The Jedi? Hello? What? You by proxy? What do you mean? And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't able to stream all month. It's been a very complicated process of things that happened here. Well, I am here now. It'll be a heckin' fun week for streams. Hope everyone's doing good. Thank you for the resub, Naomi, and same thing for gifting the subs to Yuna. Hello, Jedi. Hope you're doing good. But it has been too long, and it was out of my control. So Spectrum was it was really weird, the whole thing. But we found out that even though I had my own internet, it was connected to all the other internet connections in the house. So they were probably, most likely, they were feeding on each other, even though I was supposed to have my own thing. But now it is separated, so my internet is literally connected just to me. It's not being shared by the rest of the house. So that's finally fixed. The Spectrum guy, who turns out to be my neighbor, literally next door, he was great. He did a great job getting stuff fixed. It took a little too long for this fix to happen. An upgrade that my parents are paying the extra money for, which I very much appreciate. So I essentially have a free upgrade. I'll be very grateful that they're paying for it. But now I have 1 gig internet with 40 upload. My upload speed has quadrupled from the lowly 10 I used to have. So I actually have my bitrate upped more. I have now gotten my bitrate to at least 5K, so streams will be higher quality. Yeah. Like, if I'm wired, I can have like 900 download. And Steam alone, like I did a test with a game update, I normally either had only download in the update or patch in the game. I've never been able to do both at once. So that was very nice to see. And my download practically doubled on Steam, which is not very fast still, but it's so much better just because of how Steam is. But yeah, I'm already liking it so far. And clearly, stream's not crap in the bed, so seems to be working fine. So that's the one issue, completely resolved. Now the thing I've been dealing with for a while. So I've talked about it before, but I have like full updates. I've been dealing with back issues since end of October, and finally got physical therapy this month. And the results is there's a couple stiff joints in my spine that is causing the pain to go throughout my back and sometimes even down my right arm. So I am still dealing with that. I just did a home exercise as the stream was on the countdown, which is probably what I'm going to do every time. start the stream, post everywhere I need to, get the exercise done. And I'm going to do the exercise in the middle of stream because I want to get every couple hours after work. Because I can only do it I can't do it at work. So I have to make up for it while I stream. So you will see me not do anything for a bit, but it's necessary for my back health, which I'm going to see. Oh, I'm basically... It's not even a stretch. It's like bone and muscle related. Because I am very not flexible. And that is part of the problem. So I'm working on that. See how it goes throughout the week. I'm going... Oh, jeez. Oh, you're giving me all this stuff? Ah. There's only... it's a very slow fix, Naomi. I can't do much about it besides do what we try to pinpoint the problem. That's all we can do at the moment. There is a specific spot. If you push it, my back, you will hear me groan and moan in pain. If you push on that. Music's loud? Why is it loud? Is that better? I shouldn't have lost my mic boost. The mic looks fine on my end. But yeah, I turned Windows down. So it should be fine. All good. So, in regards to streaming with this issue, I'm going to attempt to be using the models. If the pain becomes too much and I'm just not able to be comfortable in this position, then I have to stream in PNG mode for the time being. Which means I really could use an actual PNG model. So if anyone wants to hit somebody, if anyone knows who I could hit up about that, potentially, fingers together, if anyone knows someone I could potentially talk to about it, I think that would be a cool idea, because that way I can be in a more comfortable position but still be animated enough to look good. Because let's face it, the art I use, that's not enough for streaming. It's there if I need it, but I'm not going to use it the whole time. You know? Oh, this is actually a pretty comfy spot I just got myself in. This is not bad. Woo. Yeah, I won't complain. This is okay. This is okay. So that's the deal. So that's past. Let's talk future. So this week, I lost so much progress I would have wanted to get done on games. I wanted to complete at least one of the games I'm currently doing before this week specifically. But instead, we're gonna have to mix this with Friday's new release, Persona 3 Reload. I am super excited. I am ready to get back into one of my childhood games. Persona 3 back on the PS2. I have that. I still have that copy. Plus a PS2, but we don't really use that anymore, obviously. But it was one of the first RPGs I really went through and fully completed. Even to my parents' dismay, because my PS2 was in their bedroom, and I had to keep playing while they were waiting for me to finish and had no idea what was happening. They were waiting for me to finish. I beat the final boss, and there was just the post-game stuff, or the end-game stuff, that I couldn't do because they wanted to sleep. I still have fond memories back then. And I'm just really excited. Like, from what I've seen, they've done an excellent job with remaking the game. So I am ready. We're doing 2 streams to start the game off this weekend. Friday after work, and Saturday for a lot longer. And that is going to be the Saturday game each week. For future streams, besides that... Yeah, Naomi? Yeah? Bet? I mean, what? Wow. Yeah, I was gonna say, so I've thought about games that I want to play, and with stuff I've been watching, I've been really getting an itch to stream to stream a mainline Fire Emblem game. Like, I really want to, because I don't know, I just the fun of doing voice acting and that stuff. The RNG potentially screwing me over would be hilarious. We get some awesome characters or terrible characters. I just want to know which game I would want to do. It's high on my to play list or to stream list. Because I'm not going to do Three Houses, because we already did Three Hopes, and I kind of want to go something different. Eventually, I want to do like a lunatic run of Three Houses, because I think that would be entertaining. But other than that, I don't know. I have Fire Emblem Engage, which is the newest one, so that's an easy game I could go to if I wanted to. Because that will be a blind playthrough at least. I could also nerd out by emulating Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, which are connected games. Or I even go back to the GBA, or the Game Boy Advance, with the first American Fire Emblem. I have options. I'm not going to decide yet, obviously, but I want to figure out what I want to do eventually with that. But that's kind of my main plan. It's gonna happen at least after Triangle Strategy's done, because I don't want to do 2 strategy games at the same time. But we'll get to it when we get to it. For now, I delayed long enough talking about past and future. It's time for Ace Attorney to come back. Let's heckin' go. Make sure this all sounds good. That does not sound right. Um... Interesting remix. But that is not the actual thing, so I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna unplug and replug, because that is a Elgato error. Hold on. Let's see if this works. Because last time I did this, it screwed things up. Because of the headphones app thing. I gotta remember to turn on my PS5 before I open up. We're getting back into the swing of things. We're learning again. Where the heck did I plug this into? I gotta get up now. No! It's been too long. Let's see how this goes. I replugged it. And now it's not showing. Nope. On. There we go. Alright, we'll see if this stays good. Game looks good to me. I always forget that the coloring... What the heck is blending? I'm trying to fix something here. Wait just a second. I think it's just the case where I can't get the exact color as it shows on my TV, but it might be my TV settings. So maybe my TV settings are wrong. I don't know. Oh, we'll play it like this. All right. So I didn't get to do much last time. But now... Okay, so... we're talking to the current suspect of a murder using a science experiment for basically teleportation. They don't word it that way because they don't have the science to word it that way in the past. So, we're trying to figure out what he was doing. And here we go. I'm just gonna start with what Iris did so we at least have a good point. You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating. Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible using sufficiently high voltage to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see? That's my amazing hypothesis. Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. Oh, but dare to imagine it! Dare to dream of such incredible technology! He looks creepy in this pose. Just think, one moment I could be here in this cell, and the next, I could be at the Great Expedition again! Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at a Great Parisian Theater, say! The possibilities are endless! The whole of our vast planet would be within reach! So, no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days? That is a good way to... Yeah, you wouldn't have to hide anymore. You could just teleport to Great Britain. Oh yeah, Naomi. I forgot up here your favorite outfit's back. Right above me. How you feeling? Poop ahead. Yup. I don't really see it like that. What do you mean, Iris? I don't know if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly. The planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk. My word, that's exactly right. What are the implications? What does this mean? Oops, Scott, Professor Honey, Bunny Brain, really worried. Wait a little bit. Oh, we're shark. Alright, all good. I will say, how does the stream look? Because right now, I haven't had any drop frames. Everything looks great on my end. And my mom just wanted to make sure it was all good. No, my mom was just checking to see if internet was working good. Yeah. Clearly, this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations are flawless. The science works. Without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. And that's always the fly in the ointment. Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have. Damn. Rip. That's exactly it, yes. Ellie's always complaining about it. He says government should invest more in science. Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Asman. Victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? Yeah, let's talk about the victim. The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. O.D. Asman, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man? He first visited me in my lab in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars. I see. So you hadn't really known each other until then. Money for scientific research? I'm so envious. Aw, poor Iris. She's too poor. She's using scraps to get what she needs. As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. Oh. Really? Oh no. I'll make you the tacos I made yesterday, Yuna. Need foods. Oh, an archangel even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. Yeah, Yuna? You're gonna say it like that? Her. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support from research from the British government. Mr. Asman provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. I wish I could move my arms. I would so try to pose like him right now. Just be a creeper on stream with my arms. He produced a machine to my precise specifications. Oh wait, he made the machine. So if he made the machine, why is he being implicated? When it wasn't even him that... But then your trees blown to dust in one enormous explosion. As you can see, I owe everything to Mr. Asman. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life. Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. Do I have anything to present? Oh, let's present. Fascinating, yes. In Japan, where I come from, it's a symbol of a defense lawyer. Wearing it is very bracing, I find. Yeah, it's Ace Attorney, it's a common thing to present your thing to everybody. Almost everyone has something to say. In other Ace Attorney games, you actually get made fun of for flashing your attorney's badge to everybody. And I'm doing the same thing here. I'm flashing my armband to everyone. Your words make some sense to me, but they are entirely illogical. What do you mean? Well, for example, I find this white laboratory coat that I wear for my work very bracing too. However, in my case, there is a perfectly logical reason for that feeling. Oh, really? What is it? I mean, you need a lab coat to be safe in the lab. I purchased the wrong size by mistake. This one is too small for me. Oh. It is literally bracing. The sleeves especially are extremely bracing. I could barely move my wrists. Oh. That's what you call logical, is it? Oh, jeez. I'm not even gonna click on that. I'm gonna regret it. Of course, it's entirely logical. That's science, Mr. Naruhodo. Present the newspaper, maybe? Oh, he does have something to say. How could this have happened? It must feel awful. As well as a man losing his life, the Crystal Tower was greatly damaged too. I know what happened. It must have been that. That? The day before the demonstration, I had my usual meal of frankfurters at the hotel restaurant. When I paid the bill, they gave me 3 shillings too much in change. Oh, there's a speck on my laptop. There we go. But instead of saying anything, I just slipped the coins in my pocket. They're still there now. It's divine retribution for my wrongdoing. That's what this is. For scientists, he has some very illogical anecdotes. Long and illogical. Nothing new? I guess that's it for now. Well, I guess we'll go check on, you go to the prosecutor's office. Who is this? The Legendary Reaper's office? Yes, it appears so. It sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere. Oh, is that... What is he doing in the corner like that? Oh. That hooded figure was so still I hadn't noticed his or her presence. I wonder who it is. What are you doing here? Ah! Hi, Von Zeeks. How are you? He's as unwelcome as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you're well. I am. This is such a... It's weird talking to a face-to-face. So, who's the person over by the wall being punished for something or other? Wait, oh wait, that wasn't him in the hooded figure? No punishment is taking place here. Oh. That's my apprentice. He's sitting there of his own free will. I didn't know you had an apprentice. It must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper. He's very able in combat. A reckless skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers? The Reaper? I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming, that is, such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtrooms. Oh, hold on, we gotta look at all this stuff. Wow, Gomi. Coming in and calling me a nerd and using your money on me? How heckin' dare you? Well, thank you so much for the resub, Gomi. I'm so glad to be back to streaming again. I'm glad everything works. Now back to exploration. Look at that fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles neatly lined up there. My hallowed bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world. Dude, why do you keep breaking them all then? That sounds so expensive. Where do you have all the money for it? And yet you threw them around the court like they were worthless. See, exactly. Yes, because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatedly wide of the mark sometimes. Oh. Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defile. Why is it my fault? What did I do? So, it's my fault? Silly me. How could I ever thought otherwise? Hurrah. Alright, what else we got? Von Zeek's desk. Look, it's so stylish. And that's a little chess set beside it. Chess. That's the Western version of a Japanese shogi game, isn't it? You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems. Oh, really? You'd probably like chess problems in that case. I'd love to challenge Lord Von Zeek sometime. To about the shogi problems. I tried shogi. I don't get it. You've seen me fail when I've tried it in Yakuza, or not in Yakuza, but in Judgment and Lost Judgment. I suck at shogi. Someday, I'll figure it out, especially if I want to complete the games. If you want to challenge yourself, you can always do that at your own at home. Oh, the model of the... That can't be the model of the city. Oh, look! Skill Mall, the Great Exhibition Showground. Oh, it is the Great Exhibition. Never mind. That's amazing. I wonder why it's here. Perhaps he made it to take his mind off the sadness being too busy to attend in person? Or perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket. Surely it's obvious I'm using it as an investigative aid. You Nipponese have no business painting others as overly reserved. I really didn't think you'd overhear that. You kinda speak out loud, you know. Painting? Can't see the face though. Reporter really dominates the room, doesn't it? Oh! It's a pretty majestic outfit and pose, but sadly, whoever painted it didn't do a very good job capturing Lord Von Zeke's facial features. Probably his dad. Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness, I think. Ah! Oh. Okay, Ryunosuke turned female briefly. Ah, that reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him. How vain! That's really not attractive quality in a person, is it? That portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious. Oh, then who is it? Nothing? Father, right? That's what I would assume. Right? Or grandfather? Why are Why do you have bats in here? Are you actually a vampire? Because I thought we were joking about it. They're your friends, Gomi? Of course they are. Alright, let's talk to Gomi's friends. Oh! Alright, they wanted to attack me instead! What? They were bats! Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect. Familiars? He's not a magician of the dark arts. He doesn't have summoning magic. What about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was the familiar. Just not the flying kind. Must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper then. I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary though, either way. Oh, those ancient casts lining the wall there. Cask in the Reaper's chamber. Or are they caskets? You don't think? Oh no. All those people who escaped conviction in court are lying inside a dead, do you? I love her model just slowly going into the shock face. That was a good attention to detail as he spoke. What ridiculous notions are going through your head, man? This is my collection of fine vintages. Oh, yes, of course. Thank you for clearing that up. I thought we were just musing to ourselves. Don't mind us, Mr. Reaper. I wouldn't if you hadn't invited yourselves to my office to talk nonsense within my earshot. That was funny. It really looks like a punishment to me. I've never seen someone seem like that before. He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. You have to be very disciplined to do that. Do you think perhaps he's dead? If he was dead, Bruno, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he? You could die in a position. Well, anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's going to talk to us. He's not dead! Okay, I think we have everything. So hot. Stop being so hot, Yuna. It's simple. check out my armband. I know you've seen this around my arm before, but what is it exactly? It's the mark of a defense lawyer. In Japan, at least. And what's your reasoning for show it to a British prosecutor? Oh. Well, I don't know, really. I just love lashing it around everyone. I can understand, at least. There's merit in reminding yourself of who helped you become what you are today. Oh. Wait, what? So you want me to be cold and wet? Wow. I see how it is. But, oh, in that case, you're creating steam. If that happens. I see, I see. I see your game. But that's a personal matter. Something you may want to keep close at all times, not something to flaunt. No, I suppose not. Oh! That was one of the trophies I needed. Presenting the armband to Lord Von Zeeks. Okay. That's another trophy I don't have to worry about. Because eventually I'm going to go back and get all the trophies in this game. But it requires replaying chapters. Okay, present the newspaper. Lord Von Zeeks, about the article in this paper. Ah, yes. It seems there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. Well, I'm gonna finish my soda quick. Then dilute that with some water. There we go. I'm good now. So it was just a skirmish? I had no idea I'd been photographed. It was careless of me. This was taken after the people who attacked you had run away, though. Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them. But there's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. Yeah, I want to know... I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it? As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him? No. Oh, okay. Alright, good. So let's start with last night's attack. Lord Stronger said that the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack. True. Carried out by henchmen of Odie Asmod's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably some hoped to kill me before that happened. Odie Asmod. He's always masquerading one of London's most powerful financiers. Global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means, via his criminal activities. He used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper. The man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances. It was a most unusual cause of death. I know about that. It was super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Asmod died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? Well, no, that does seem a little far-fetched. If this man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death at least. It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Runo? I mean, what with you taking on Professor's defense for the trial tomorrow? What? You're going to be defending him? Oh, yes, that's right. Though I barely know man's name yet, to be honest. Albert. Albert Hairbrain. That's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at You two were old friends? Oh, shit. We got some backstory coming up. Oh my goodness. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together. You're... What? Huh. Alright, you're contemporary. I had understood that Professor Hairbrain was from Germany, though. Hairbrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research. That's all. So you were students together. I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, and he in science. So our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along. Though I've not met him since my university days. That makes sense. People you don't really have similar classes to, you just end up, It's surprising who you end up getting along with in your college days. Like, it doesn't even have to be related to what you end up doing. It just kinda happens. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you, of all people, representing him. Only if I make it out of this office alive. Oh my goodness, he's gonna strangle me. He's gonna become the true Reaper. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems. Yes, I know. Prosecution will be handled by me. By you? But you make it sound as if you and the Presser have been friends. Wait, what? Oh, wow, Yumna. We are friends, it's true. Then why would you do this? If the Reaper's the prosecutor, there's something anyone can do to save him. He's doomed. What's Lord Von Zeke's thinking? Why? I don't like that. The Reaper's identity. What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean... I'm a crown prosecutor immortal like any other. I'm no demigod. I'm gonna check something super quick. Ooh. Nah, that's too tinted. Let's just kind of see if maybe I could get the picture mode on my TV to look like it does on the screen. This actually looks good enough. I got a that, yeah, that actually looks a lot better. Just on my TV, I made it. It's got a different kind of darkness to it, or like the lighting's a little different. But they've all died, haven't they? The people you prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in conviction or an acquittal. Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who without question deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them. But that's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all. That was Guinea. In fact, she's ever so hardworking now. I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile wretches escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It's not my work. Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way. But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true. Well, they are idiots. The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Oh. It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives. Do you mean to say... I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor. But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed. If that is my fate. Let God decide. Von Zeke's wild. Alright, let's talk about the apprentice now. I held off on that, but let's do it now. He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose. Oh, like you are to Hurley then, Bruno. I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective. Is he gonna move? He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack. Yeah, it looks like he's wearing some kind of mask. On Lord Strongheart's orders. Nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity. But why would you agree and take on such a clearly suspicious individual? Lord Strongheart's orders again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There will be good reason for his actions. I hope you're right. That's oh! He got up. He's gonna kill me. Run away! Not really. I can face you! Ah! Oh, this is such a weirder angle. The task is complete. Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs. Oh, no words? Yes? Nice to meet you? Oh. Back to work again. That was really strange, though. I've never met the man before. I didn't even know he existed, and yet... somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter. Huh. That's mighty suspicious. Trying to think now. I don't know who it could be. Alright, I was trying to avoid that, but is it Kazuma? I can't... I mean, the fact his name popped up at the end of the first game means Kazuma does have a role to play in this story still. Maybe they faked his death on purpose? Like it was a purposeful accident? Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it. Oh, I see. Because Strongheart would know about Kazuma. That he was supposed to be the defendant. Or the defense attorney. It would make sense that if there's like some conspiracy type thing. Ultimate boss? Maybe. Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway? Oh no, I mean... Sorry, I didn't mean to... He stood there so casually, yet with that... flawless posture. Is it really? He's thinking Kazuma! It might actually be. It couldn't be. Oh shit. Yeah, he's also thinking it's Kazuma. That's wild. Then there's some massive conspiracy happening if it's him. Yes, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Oh, what's that? That Nipponese man. Is he faring well? Sorry. The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago. With the stoop, and the mustache, and the jitters. Ah, Mr. Natsume, you mean? I'm not sure to be very pleased to find out you identified him from that list, Runo. He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day. I see. Interesting that Von Zieks even asked about him. Well, I think we had a discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case. Yes, thank you for the advice. And for the conversation. He was surprisingly... I will say... Von Zieks was surprisingly good to talk to. I thought he was going to be super stuck up and all that. That wasn't even going to talk to us much. Love you too, Yona. Pat pat. Mwah. Hee hee. I can't believe he's asking after Oseki-san. After a Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried. Love you, Naomi. Pat pat. Mwah. Hee hee hee. I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with the mad scientist, did you? That's a turn up for the Bucks. Mad scientist? Ah, you mean Professor Hairbrain? Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Warlord Zieks, I think. Yeah, we have something new to talk about. Let's go back. The Reaper's varsity years. I understand Warlord Zieks is a friend of yours from your university days? Yes, that's right. He was studying in law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? What a good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, and all-around nice fellow, really. That does not describe him now. Sorry, I think you misheard me. Talk about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor Baron von Zieks. What was he like when he was at university? Talk about a leading question, Bruno. As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the von Zieks family with all its great aristocratic origins. But I didn't realize he had quite such noble blood. Little darling. I can't imagine saying little darling to describe von Zieks. It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Oh my goodness, no. Wow, Naomi, oh dear. Really? What sort of event? I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I was in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh. Yes, of course. If he's heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that the war on Zieks will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow. Oh, no. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion occurred yesterday. That was an accident, you're saying? You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work. Is that correct? As correct as 2 squared is 4. I swear... I almost said square it. I swear it! Yes, it's true that the man perished in the machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life, not in a centillion years. I'm a man of science, it's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Why did they change the music to this? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that, all my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories. But I do believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law, it's all I know. You have to believe me, please. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. That I can square uppies. I didn't think it was possible, but I gave it a shot and oh my goodness, it worked. Toss you up in the air. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. Alright, Bruno. It's time. Time to visit the great exhibition. Sorry. Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it? Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last. Let's go! We can now investigate! New location, the experimentation stage. Rents these days at the Great Exhibition and Oshino on Crime. Let's go. Alright. Oh god, that's a long line. It fits the whole screen. The Great Exhibition Grounds, foot of the Crystal Tower. Ugh. Showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now. I found myself swooning 3 times. Over who? Who did you have the hots for? Better not have been Iris. There are a lot of people, aren't there? I've almost been trodden on 3 times, too. Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. Finally made it through the throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. Oh, jeez, that is a big hole. What's going on? What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. Sounds like an argument. Oh? Oh! Wait, what? What? You're back? I thought you were in jail still. What the fuck? Right, I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you, I'll arrest you in a minute. Oh yeah? Go on, Inspector, give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence and you know it. Wait, I know those voices. You've got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady. But the night to the cells will teach you some manners. Just try it, I dare ya. You want that bag of chips rammed down your throat? Yeah? Goddamn! Yoo-hoo! Cranksy, what are you doing up there? Oh. Oh yeah, endless. Ah! Ah! It's you! Here you are! Your ladyship! All right. He fully supports Iris now. I forgot about that. How are you, your ladyship? I do hope you're well, your ladyship. Does that make her 3 times a lady? I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue. Unbelievable. I'll go and have a word for you at once, Lord Ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you. Look at his face. Tobias Gregson, Inspector at Scotland Yard. He's so happy. Until recently, he was suspended. Oh, he got suspended from duty? I forgot about that. Oh, shit. He's back in action now. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely. Or there should be. Why did he make that face? Watch it, sunshine. Sorry. What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case. Yes, I'm acting for the defense. So we're here to investigate. Right. Dear me, that's a situation, is it? Is it really that troubling? You see 5 bob? That all you got? Look at her! You're a lawyer, ain't ya? You could stand to carry a bit more copper around your pockets, Mr. Naraodo. What? Hey, that's my last bit of spending money, that is. Ah, you gotta get out of it back, but I'll have to charge you for all the bother. 3 bob. Ah, Gina is back. This is Jean Lestrade, a pickpocket, or diver, born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago, this is the young girl I was defending in court. What's your problem, Aoda? Diver? Pickpocket? What's with all the name calling? You want a bag of chips ran down your throat and all, do ya? I don't like stuff rammed down my throat, thank you very much. I thought you'd probably be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you'd been up to your usual tricks here at the showground. That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Aldo. Only a year's a long time. People can change. Yeah, Naomi? I'm an apprentice now. Learn to use She's gonna be a detective? Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. I'm an apprentice now. Learn to be a Scotland Yard detective. So you have to call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now. Oh, I like that. That's cool. That's cool. Right? That's huge. I thought she was gonna be in jail. Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. The inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us. What's that supposed to mean? Wait, what? Right, well, I'll be back up top. You hold the fort down here, alright? Right, sir. This raises a lot of questions. Oh, I'm going to examine first. So much is happening. The Crystal Tower, it's certainly an apt name. It was built to be the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is being so tall with all that glass. Can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan. There are lots of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum. Where the fuck do you have a zoo? I heard you have to queue for 3 hours just to get through the doors. Well, at the moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment may well be the biggest draw. Thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut. Suddenly, it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower. Apparently, everyone's taken to the skies now to look down on a disaster area from above instead. But there's a periodic queue to go up in the balloon now. Londoners must be very patient people. I would not wait 3 hours. Oh, we actually have to look up. Oh, okay. That's where the cove ended up after his instant kinesis, or whatever they call it. Dead of course. And yet they're calling the experiment a success? What's the wooden scaffold there for? Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Soul does what Soul does. No. Don't do the smug face. Wah. The coppers, our lads, set that up after the incident happened. To get the body down, I think. Don't know, really. The body even there. Didn't he help to erect the scaffold then? Nah, lookout duty's more my thing. Wandering around the expedition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff. Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that, or he'll give you the boot. It's incredible though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? If the body really did end up in there, how did it get there? Is the main question. Oh, we can look at the balloons. I've been meaning to ask you for a while now, but what are those funny round blobs floating in the sky? Oh, they're the flying balloons I've been talking about. I want to go up in one so much. I've read about situations like this in the magazine about strange phenomena. Creatures from outer space making round flying objects to attack Earth. What? I suppose inhabitants of other planets are bound to be interested in the great exhibition. Is it, Iris? It's happening! It's not. Don't worry. I'll explain it all to you later over a nice cup of tea, Runo. Alright, so... Naruhodo believes in aliens. Good to know. This platform has been set up for the experiment, I suppose. It's very high up. About 30 feet above the ground, apparently. That's what a policeman I just spoke to said. I don't really understand feet very well. We don't use them in Japan. Right? Imagine using feet. Ever. Couldn't be me. Oh yeah, sorry. It's about 9 meters. But so you only have been in London a year, Runo. That's how you got used to our measurement. The superior measurement. Yes, well, this thing is so tall, the spectators at the front would just have seen a wall and nothing else. They probably thought they'd secure the best spot to watch from, and they'd be disappointed. There's a saying in Japan, the darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel like it probably applies here. I'm adjusting again. There. Sort of. That sort of works. But I'm not uncomfortable, at least, so that's good. I can keep doing this. What is this? It looks as though somebody dropped something behind a tree just here. Dropped. Or hid. Why does it look like a crossbow? What is this? Some part of the machine that exploded? Maybe it could have fallen from the platform above the blast, perhaps? What's going on here? Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case. Oh, we being sneaky. Very curious device found behind a tree under the experimentation stage. The exhibition grounds. Almost as if it had been hidden there deliberately. I mean, it was pretty noticeable. It was, like, pretty easy to see. For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. Almost as if there was a fire here or something. Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers, too. Well, I suppose there's a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this would have been. I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Runo. Alright. Should be the last bit, right? Nothing up here? Yep. Oh look! What's this? A ripped piece of cloth. It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff. Like, I mean, what? Looks extremely durable. It's canvas, I think. Some sort of rubber backing. Alright, look. I had to make the joke. I had to make the joke. Don't judge me. Don't judge. And the edges appear to be a bit charred as well. Maybe that means it has something to do with the explosion. It's like another of our guineas mid-yawn. Piece of green cloth. Okay, torn piece of canvas-like material backed with rubber that was found under experimentation stage at the expedition grounds. There are scorch marks at the edges. Okay. Alright. Hold on. First off, take a look at my armband. This armband is proof, in Japan at least, that I'm a defense lawyer. And this badge is proof that I'm a detective. So you're all gonna have to start calling me Inspector Lestrade. In that case, you'll have to start calling me, well, anything but Odo. I can call you Defender Nara Odo if you like, but it don't really trip off the tongue. No, it doesn't have a great ring to it, does it? Sleepy Yuna! Sleepy, sleepy. Alright, now we can start talking. Let's talk about Gina. It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina, in connection with the case I was working on. At that time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder. I had a lot of time to think in prison. Oh, you were... Okay, so she was in prison. How long was she in there? I realized I couldn't go on like I was. The dive and weren't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Ginny. Well done. So you went from being a pickpocket to a detective? You got it. Good, innit? Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of a book, eh? Talk about a sea change. And then there's Iris's old man to think about. Iris's father, you mean? Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces around the world to pull out all the stops looking for him. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Just a small promise then, nothing serious? Oh, Ginny, you're so sweet. So anyway, that's how come I had to go at the test for Scotland Yard. The trouble is, I don't read so well, do I? Just a small problem, nothing serious. And that's when Hurley approached Grexy and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for getting a mater a sort of apprentice. That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson, and brave. Well, you know Hurley, he enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants. Yeah. Makes sense, makes sense. The great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words. So, the long and the short of it is, if you got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade. Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there? Ooh, what, Bruno, what? Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. A trial in which she was found out guilty, and yet here she is still. Come on! You're not still on about that, are you? The Legend of the Reaper, whatever it's called? Cool, you don't have to worry, Otto. If I didn't half worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left. It's like I told you before, ain't it? The Reaper's kinda like him upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside. But they ain't really done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong might be stretching a point. About Mr. Natsume in Japan. He's perfectly fine, isn't he? Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought? Exactly! So I ain't worried. I'm totally fine. Water for my throat. It's been a while since I've done any voice acting. Good H2O. Alright, yesterday's incident. Cord, it was out of this world, it was. The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on his machine and suddenly it started billowing smoke. It just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment here yet. Sorry. You mean you saw it, Jenny? With your own eyes? Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge here, ain't he? We're keeping everything running smooth, I mean. The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's going to take some getting used to. Well, sees that I'm on duty and I can do whatever I want to. Get this! I was up in one of the flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above. No! You're so lucky, Ginny. You should join Scarlet Yard too. Yeah, do it! You know how to put the boss in this place already, right, Iris? You have no trouble at all. Then it's settled. When do I start? No, no, no. You can't join Scotland Yard, Iris. You'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand is this. If the machine explodes so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming this experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success. In a way. It was? How can it have been? Aw, yeah, go lay down. Pat, 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 pat. Belly rubs. Back rubs. Face rubs. A successful experiment? How? Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success. It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke and that whopping great bang. But where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the crystal tower over there. What? In the tower? Yeah, where else? You can see for yourself, can't you? Up there above the scaffold. Oh! Where all the glass is broken, you mean? Yeah, the cage what the victim got in to start with, really did get beamed through the air or whatever and landed all the way over there. So, you see, it did kind of work, didn't it? What? I don't believe it. I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Sleep well, Jonas. Get some good rest. Oh, I tell you what. You can have this. It's a plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard. Are you sure? Yeah, go on. Anthony Bob off you before, so fair's fair. Yes, I didn't actually give that to you. Did I? Okay. A diagram showing the relative positions of the Crystal Tower and Professor Hairbrain's machine that exploded. Let's take a look at that. Huh. So it was pointed directly at the tower. I feel like the balloons, where they're positioned, might actually do something. Alright. Not really much you can look at here. Oh yeah, I never looked at the other stuff. It looks like layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining of sorts. Never seen anything like it before. While applying Mr. Shone's methods, you might deduce it was a part of a raincoat worn by someone who really didn't want to get wet. And the charring must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Or maybe not. Oh, that's it? Okay then. Nothing new there. Let's check this. This is absolutely a crossbow. You can't tell me otherwise. Who the heck is using a crossbow here? I mean, it's a cool looking crossbow, but why do we have crossbows? Ah, there's some sort of lever here. That's cool. I like this. What is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. I think it's probably used for the same thing, too. A weapon found hidden behind a tree under the experimentation stage at the expedition grounds. Turns out that it's a folding crossbow. That's crazy. I love the design of this thing. It's really cool looking to me. Alright, the handle? Looks like you wind this around in order to draw the bowstring back and create tension. You must be able to fire arrows with humans on a force using this device then. In fact, I would imagine it's far more accurate and powerful than a Japanese longbow. Ugh. I really had no idea what I was picking up when I spotted this at the expedition grounds. Exhibition. I mean, to be fair, I wasn't expecting this to be a crossbow. Like, legit. Burned raincoat, folding crossbow. Oh, hold on. This groove here must be where the arrows are loaded, I suppose. You got fooled. Nice. Yeah. It seemed obvious, I just wasn't expecting it to be that legitimately that. You know? The arrows are loaded, I suppose, so I was right. It's a sort of bow with an automatic firing mechanism. This would be perfect for someone like me who catches ear with the bowstring 2 times out of 3. In fact, if I had one of these, maybe I could have been Kazuma in Kyoto archery training. Oh no, now I'm just thinking of Link's crossbow training on the Wii. Naruhodo's crossbow training coming out 2024. That'd be funny. But Jenna, you should share your foods. Alright, about the investigation. It's something Inspector Gregson. Oh. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. Well, it's worth anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us. Yes, Nominal Gracie ran off after that without explaining himself. Oh, right, that. Boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday. Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant. In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations? Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither. Why? What did the boss call them again? The forensic investigation team, I think? Oh shit, they got forensics now. Anyway, apart from that lot... grilled cheese and soup. I'm down. No one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, innit? Even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate. Yes, I've never heard something like that before. I thought I could have a gander on the quiet though, but the boss caught me at it. Really earned me giving an earful about it from down here, didn't ya? Stop leaning there. I think you were giving him as much of an earful back as I remember it. Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips would make him so stubborn. Right, his black hole of chips. You say something to him, Odo? You say something to Odo. Go on, see if we can get through to him. He's up on the platform. Delicious. He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machine that exploded is. We could try, can't we, Bruno? Gracie will listen to us. Yeah, let's go. Oh wait, how do I... Oh, I have to hit the stairs. These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted. Oh, wow. Experimentation stage. This is a mess. So that's it, is it? The machine that blew up. Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion, and I've seen my fair share. You've seen things like this before, you mean? Of course, Hurley's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry. Ah, that might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs. Explosions will happen, sometimes. One time you made something explode with such force, it took the roof off the building. Wish you'd been there to see it, Bruno. Why do you have that face when you say that? It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof. Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate. Oh, there he is. Oh, look, Inspector Gregson's over there. Seems to be deep in thought about something, whilst eyeing up the machine carefully. Really? He just looks confused to me. Alright, let's see. Oh, this is it. Okay. There are all sorts of strange buildings here in the Great Exhibition Grounds, aren't there? I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan one time. Oh! In your country, Bruno? I do wish I could go and see it. I'd present a particularly steely samurai with a present of one of Hurley's stories I'd written especially. And see if I couldn't get Hurley into a jam against some, Bartitsu Master Ninjas. You might not find as many of those sorts of people around as you think. Oh, well that's dull. Oh, but I do know a prosecutor with a Chanmage top knot I could introduce you to. A Chanmage? Really? Do you think I could have my picture taken with him, do you? Assuming he's recovered from the trim Cosmo gave him a year ago, yes. No, he is not recovered. No more of that. Ugh. It ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it? Magnificently and mercilessly. So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air into a better position, and someone throws points at me to do so. I've actually been pretty comfy, not gonna lie.
Nut.
That was a terrible nut for me. Ah. So someone's in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and beamed through the air. Yes, beamed. Not blasted. That's the point. Yes, that part's crucial, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris? Oh, Bruno, I'm just a child. How should I know? A child when it suits you, you mean? Good excuse, good excuse. If I could tell, I think if you were to pull this lever here... Stop! Don't touch that. That was practically instantaneous kinesis the way you flew over just now, Gregsy. Wow, what a troll. Please, your ladyship. Didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here. So sorry, you can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it. Oh, I should do the same thing. Hold on. Wow, wonderful! This stuff really is wonderful! Oh, you guys make more sense. Delicious. It's just like old times, this is. That was funny. We're representing Professor Harebrain in court tomorrow, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ha! Listen, Sunshine, if I'm not allowed to touch anything up here, it's that blasted Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act to blame. It's driving me putty. Oh yes, that special dispensation? Professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes. But we're allowed to just look, aren't we? Eh? Actually, that's alright, isn't it, Grexy? Oh, is he gonna cave? Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. Please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will you? Don't worry. I wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Runo? She really knows how to get what she wants. Wait, now, considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Hairpin was lucky to escape unscathed, I'd say. We should have a good look around the machine while we can, I think. Touch anything, I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, you hear? I won't touch a thing, I promise. So please, spare a thought for your digestion. Anyway, do you really think this machine can actually disassemble people like the professor claims? Yes, totally incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we? Because the annoying rules, you mean? Exactly! The annoying, destructive, flaming rules! Oh, look at the base of the machine there. Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh. It's a screwdriver, I think. Oh, isn't it a lovely one? And it's in the shape of a capital letter A. Is it? It is? Oh yes, you're right. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said. Touch anything, I'll make sure I kill you before I get stronger myself, I said. Yes, I understand, sorry. I only touched it a teeny weeny bit. Grexy, I'm very curious about this screwdriver. Really, very, very curious. He's gonna cave. Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting something like this. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it. Bruno found it first. I assure you, I'll investigate thoroughly. He's going off with it. Huh, that was very mean. Oh, maybe. I'm afraid Inspector Gregson's going to make a very clumsy, embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now. Poor Gregsy. Oh, well now he's not here. Okay then. Well, shit. What is that gigantic thing over there? Looks like Norma's water wheel. Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people riding inside those little cabins you can see. Why? Well, they rotate nice and slowly, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery. Wait, it's turning? Well, it's completely still. Yes, that's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolution takes about half an hour. If we were mad enough to go in one, it would be more fun to whiz around fast, don't you think? I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of ride there, Runo. True, you did. So those are people carrying balloons, dangling silently in the skies over London. I always thought the day would come when humans would discover how to fly. but I never imagined it would involve them being suspended from colorful, floating tomorrowly handballs. I'm sure it must feel amazing being out there among the clouds. Let's take a ride together, Bruno, please. If I'm being perfectly honest, I would like to try it. Without a cast iron guarantee that the thing won't plummet to the ground, I'm too scared. Oh, well, in that case, I should tell you what Hurley said. It's physically impossible for flying a balloon to plummet to the ground, as long as it doesn't explode. Oh, yes. Call me crazy, but I think that explained part might play on my mind a little. Jeez, you didn't have to mention it. Alright, now we just look at the main thing. That amazing horn-shaped device is pointing towards the Crystal Tower. Almost once people are disassembled by the machine, they're shot out of that thing to wherever they're going. I don't think we're supposed to shoot anything, Bruno. We sent it to beam people to the Crystal Tower, where they'd be reconstructed in their original form. Well, I don't like the look of it. If it was as amazing as it looks, the accident wouldn't have happened in the first place, of course. I suppose that's true. Yes. But nothing ever goes according to plan, does it? Nope. Never. I think that's it. There's not really much to look at out here. But Gregson, look at my armband. This is the symbol of defense lawyer where I come from, Inspector. Well, it doesn't pass muster here in London. You might as well chuck it in a deep fat fryer. No one's ever said that to me before. Mr. Sholmes suggests I feed it to a dog, though. If you fry it first, you could feed it to me. Is it just gonna be part of your black hole of fish and chips? Does he think it's made of potato? Jeez. Alright, Alright, we'll start with government policy. He's so weird, yeah! Kinda. Using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body, and then beam him across to the Crystal Tower? It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True. It was by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. The government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology in the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the onslaught of public safety infringements. They can be the first to develop some new technology and make Brandon more powerful in the future, you see? I think I'm finally finding a voice for him. I never find a voice for him. Yes, I suppose that's true in a way. So the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on scientists' rights at the moment. What sort of rights? They're making it so that any theories the brains have remain their legal property, as it were. Intellectual property, they're coming up with it. Right through developing it into a practical idea and even going into production. Which is the infuriating reason us coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene. Because a new highfalutin special dispensation for scientific equipment act forbids it. Ah, I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are from some brand new department at the yard. The Forensic Investigation Team, it's called. We've been relegated to keeping guard. Forensic Investigation Team. Any old fool can see that this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. But just because it says scientific experiment equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it. Poor Craigsy. He's very head up, isn't he? Alright, let's talk about the special dispensation. Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene here? Hey, you have me at it, Sunshine. It's a special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. Alright, I keep saying that so much. So, the SDSCA. Or SDSE Act. Yes, I think Carly mentioned that recently. The real twinkle in his eye, as I remember. I'm sure he did, your ladyship. I'm sure he did. Pass especially for this great expedition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or inventions to some suits in the civil service. And if it gets rubber stamped, it's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. What does that really mean? Think about it. Think of all the world change and new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of cobblers, if you ask me, put forward by slammers like yourself. Thanks for that. Why'd you have to insult me, bro? What did I do? I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's all so fun. It might be fun to you. But remember, the Force has to be present in every single demonstration. Can you imagine, eh? Hang science, that's what I say. Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job. You'd soon think otherwise to spend a day guarding all these shammers' bogus contraptions. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly. Sorry? Thanks to another of our government's bright ideas. If any theory or inventions deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. The scientists get funding? Exactly. That's what they're all after. All these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. I think I found a voice to stick with him after 2 games. Who has to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Those coppers, that's who. So you can see why I say it now, can't ya? Hang science! Hang it! I don't like, I love science. Oh, maybe I can see your point. Alright, talk about the professor. Apparently Professor Harebrained lives and works in Germany now conducting his research. That's right. Came back to Britain especially for the great exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants. Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time in further education. It turns out he was at university with someone we both know. Lord von Zeeks. Eh? What's that? That's news to me. But if von Zeeks demands the prosecution, then it's the accused the professor's fate is sealed because the Reaper will get him one way or another. Blimey, that man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that head of his. Talking of von Zeeks, this morning's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that? Oh yes, but Mr. Reaper is completely fine. Nothing to worry about. Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Still the Reaper, huh? How long's that business gonna keep up, I wonder? Oh, the mystery of the Reaper. Victim in this case, the investor, Mr. Asman. He's another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Lord Baron von Zeeks is a top-class prosecutor. Even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. True. Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected von Zeeks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court. Although the man himself denies that charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation. Conclusion we reached is that Lord von Zeeks is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. Yup. There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on, I would. But that's true, then how do you explain it? Those defendants couldn't have just coincidentally died if nobody killed them. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper. Professor Harebrained mentioned something else. He said that at university, Lord von Zeeks was a totally different person. easygoing and kind. What? He said that it was after they both graduated something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what it was? No clue. Really? Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance to yourself elsewhere, eh? Iris? Iris? What are you suspecting? That was an awkward pause. What the heck? Right, are you done here, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? Isn't it about time you were leaving? Or rather, it is about time you were leaving. That lot are here now. That lot? Forensic investigation team. They'll be giving me the heave-ho in a minute, too. Oh dear, poor Crexy. Here, have another cup of my special blend to cheer you up. Oh. Ah, that hit the spot. Yup, hits it every time. Well, at least I've seen the scene with my own eyes. Looks like this is as far as we're going to get with our investigations here, at least. I've been thinking... Probably might know something, mightn't he? About what? About Mr. Reaper. About what happened to Lord Von Zeeks, you mean? Because it sounds like something very significant occurred after he graduated from university. Something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Sholmes at the moment. You know, some big case, isn't he? Here, this is what you need. What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket? Madame Tuspells? Is this supposed to mean something to me? You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. You could go now if you like. No, we don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow. But that's where Hurley is. What? At this popular London attraction? Yes. How is it that you know where he is? Hurley told me. He told me to keep his secret from you, Runo. Madame Tuspells? I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating here, but then... stranger things have happened. And when they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. Ay. Okay. Well, I guess that's a good point. For one, I'm gonna take this jacket off. It's getting a little hot. Two, I'm gonna go to the bathroom quick. So, give me a sec. Okay, I am back. Let me hang my hoodie up quick so it's not like awkwardly on the bed. Did I ever turn the TV volume down? I did. Okay. Alright, before I continue though, I need to do my thing. So I am on the ground, don't mind me. Just gonna chat here a bit. I can't see the chat because I am on the ground right now. So what I'm basically doing is that I am supporting myself with my elbows and hands out at like a 45-degree angle between my head and like my lower back. Yeah, I'm looking at a 45-degree angle down. No. Okay, so I'm looking 45 degrees down, and I have my back as straight as possible with my neck and head. And all I'm doing is just moving my neck back. Couple seconds, release. And then I just keep moving it back. So my ears like line up with my shoulders. And it's kind of like I'm moving my head in the same direction. I'm in like the opposite direction of what I'm looking. Which I definitely feel it. Just spiking in the back. Like a specific spot in my back. Ow. That's 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Ugh. Oh, that pain. Hopefully this stretching, it's like to stretch my neck out specifically because it's very stiff. Because I'm so used to like looking down forward when doing all like everything. So, why are you screaming? Well, what did I do to make you scream? Oh. Alright, so I'm gonna at least we'll get music playing. Different music. My pain noises. Don't worry about it. Let's get different music playing at Madame Trussell's. Or Tuss-Spell's. What's he doing at the Madam's place? So I'm not sitting back with the camera, so don't worry about it right now. Let's see what this is. And when music plays, I'm gonna go back and do another set. Oh! Oh! What? Sure. We'll go with this music. The creeper music. Have fun with that while I make more noises of pain. One. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 10. Oh, okay. Alright, I'm good. I can't... Oh! Alright. Pain's gonna happen, Naomi. The point of the stretches isn't to remove pain. It's to try to spread it out. Or not... It's try to, like, centralize it. So instead of going, like, super far out towards my arm, it's trying to be, like, evenly spread. That's at least what we wanted to start at. If we get it there, that's progress. So you're going to be hearing this from me for a bit. I can't do anything about it. What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes. But why are all the people so still? Guillotines, ruthless murderers. I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight. I'll say, it felt nice at least, I think. They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Bruno? Shocked? Wax models? Ah! I read about the dead bodies and wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena. Oh god, he's all about the paranormal. I don't know how corpses are kept after death. Parts of them can turn to wax, apparently. It's called a adiposphere? Stop talking about creepy things like that, Runo. You're scaring me. Anyway, a dipocure doesn't form readily. Readily, you know, it's only a very specific. Ah! What now? I've just remembered something else I read in another magazine about strange phenomena. That'd be wild. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display. None of the exhibits in here are real. They're all entirely man-made replicas. They can't be. Do you expect me to believe that? Just look at them. Oh. There's no way anybody can make models of people that are this realistic. Yes. This is very gruesome indeed. And they're all such gruesome scenes. Wait. What is it? Oh no. I must be seeing things. Wait. I see things here. But first, go left to right. Is this some infamous murderer? Yes, called Jane the Ripper. Oh, like Jack the Ripper. Alright, that's a good parody. All our victims were young women. I knew it. You can tell by the way she's holding that knife. Sure a sign of a murderer. Well, yes. Ah! What's the matter, Runo? I've worked it out. I know what she's doing. She's trying to fill that bathtub with blood so she can have a soak in her victim's gore. What? Not according to the information about the exhibit on the little board here. It doesn't mention anything about the bathtub. Really? Sorry, I don't think it's significant. I still think it has to be there for a reason. Jeez. That's creepy. Just a foot there. Is this an arm? Oh, that's an arm. Never mind. Why did I think that was a foot? It looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxwork models has fallen over. You don't think it could be the work of one of the mass murderers in here, do you? Bruno! Stop scaring me! Is it a wax arm or a real one? Come on, you're always putting that finger of yours in court. Look at that arm now and see how it feels. Objection. I wasn't giving it a good look. Alright. Don't make fun of me. That big heavy curtain's in a very prominent position, isn't it? I have a nasty feeling there's going to be something truly terrifying behind it. Oh yes! That's the famous Tuskbill special exhibit! Depicts one of England's most notorious killers. Do you want to pay the extra fee and have a look? Pay more money? To be even more terrified? Ooh, let me think about that for a moment. I like the sarcasm there. It was only a suggestion. These sounds are so well made, I can't tell what's a waxwork and what's a real human. Or maybe all the exhibits are real people. And when it's closing time and all the visitors have gone home, they suddenly start moving about. Just thinking about it makes me wish it was closing time already and I was on my way home. Isn't that a, Night at the Museum reference? I don't want to touch him yet. Is this an example of Western Sujigiri? I don't know what that is. You know, when an unscrupulous samurai randomly attacks a passerby to test his sword? I still don't know, no. But actually, a waxwork samurai would probably be hugely popular. Can you model it, do you think, Bruno? Doing that Sujigiri thing you mentioned. Well, I do have a sword, but I have no intention of testing how sharp it is on a human subject. For now, at least. Oh, so you say you will stab somebody. Noted. Alright. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's a funny place for a little ladder. What is it? Is something wrong? No, it's just that in Japanese we have a totally different word for a ladder that folds in half like that. Do in English too, you know. It's a step ladder or just steps. So be careful when making assumptions about other cultures, Bruno. That's how wars are started. I didn't realize step ladders were an international point of contention. The wire mates a stew point. Alright, found another one. Gotta pay attention to all of these. Alright, it's either gonna be the sign or him. Probably him. It's the great detective Mr. Hollock Sholmes. So Sholmes has his own wax statue and... Inosuke. Bro. Dude. Really? You really thought that? Oh my goodness. Ay. Really? Well, he is a world famous, after all. It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? Makes my skin crawl to look at it. Okay, they both don't think it. They both don't see it. I know. Oh look, Bruno, you can kick this Hurley and he doesn't move a muscle. What? Just the slow. Just the slow. Just the slow motion of writhing in pain without trying to make a sound. I thought it tricked me for a second the way he bounced. You can't go around kicking the exhibits, Iris. Wait. He moved back! He just moved back! Oh, that's great. Why is he doing this? It just moved, I'm sure. And not just a little bit either. Hmm? Really? Did it? He blinked 3 times. And look closely. There are beads of sweat on the face of this waxwork model. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look! There's a great murder scene to enjoy, much more appealing.
Hold it!
Hold it! My dear fellow, I take exception to recoiling in such a manner as if you see something truly abhorrent. Mr. Sholmes! I knew it. Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruhodo. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? And that kick! Could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me. But Bruno has something he needs to ask you. Ah, a question? I've never laughed so hard at a gaming moment, I swear. That was too funny. Just the slow-mo is what got me. I was tricked. I was truly fooled thinking that it wasn't a wax model, but man. Parents are gonna think I'm crazy. Oh, right! That threw me off too! I forgot! That threw me off. It was too long ago. It was like 2 months at this point. The way Shansphere fell was pretty funny too. This game has gotten some good laughs out of me. Most games, a lot of games don't get me laughing like this. Ah, a question? And I thought you'd probably be getting bored too. So here we are. There's a stink bug on my TV. Fun. Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. Your 2 minutes more being stationary like that. My great brain, upon which all my success has been built, would have turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss. Oh, Hurley, you like to talk nonsense, don't you? He could know something, it's true. About Lord Van Zeeks and what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? For you are in luck. I'm suddenly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, well, actually, I'm in quite a hurry. Your eyes don't deceive me. I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that is related to the matter about which you've come to me now. But how could it be? We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow, but for now I must return to my work. What? Iris, kick him again. What, back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit? Oh. What if I just ended the stream right here on this? Show him about this. As you will see, I'm rather busy at the moment. If it's advice you seek, come to my office tomorrow and I shall be happy to help you. Shall we say 3 per item as a consultation fee? That's 2 hours of gas, that is. He goes right back to the pose! That's great. Okay, Madame Spells. What is this place? Madame Tuspels came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed great popularity in London. There are museums like this in Japan, too. But these displays are something else. I mean, aren't they made from actual real people? They aren't made from actual real people, are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tuspels family, they say. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine. Ugh, that sounds grim. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expressions of the faces of the condemned. Apparently, sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses right there at the site of the executions. That really turns my stomach. That's just one of several legends about the Tuspels family. Whether there's any truth in it, I couldn't say. But anyways, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area in the museum by quite some margin is this House of Horrors. House of Horrors? Of course, visiting numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition. But people usually flock here to see exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome work. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. They're even stiffer now than the models of them! Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. So, the hideous exhibits in here are... They're all portrayals of the real events that actually took place. Is it just me, or did the temperature in here just seem to drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here. Back to pose. Oh, he's back to being waxwork, is he? Temporary waxwork, why? What do you mean by a temporary waxwork, Mr. Sholmes? Exactly what you see. And he's breaking out of it, good. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them? Every half an hour I home in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I'll happily allow them to take a photograph with us. Us? Does it mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? But why, Mr. Sholmes? My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money! He really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors. As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent. And I have the ravenous iris to consider. Oh, Hurley, I'm so hungry. If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruhodo. What's he threatening to rope me into now? So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Maybe some other time. Huh. But Mr. Naruto, ignore me at your peril. Back to pose. Back me in waxwork again. Is this me, or did his final remark there sound a lot like a curse? Well, I'm gonna have bad luck at work tomorrow then. Alright, something to ask you. Well, what is it you'd like to ask me then? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zeeks. Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust. Explain everything that happened, and so I filled Mr. Sholmes in about everything I'd learned. About Laura Mazique's, about Professor Hairbrain, and about the strange coincidence that they had been at university together. So I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Laura Von Zeke such a different person. I was sure that you'd know, Hurley. Sholmes doesn't want to say anything. You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before. That something was afoot. And that you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Sholmes? Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up. Well, seems we reached the unavoidable... Greetings. Oh, she's cute. Oh, hello. Where does she appear from? What's she wearing? Could she look any more mysterious? I hope you are appreciating my museum. Sorry, have we... Mr. Sholmes, do you know this? Not again! My apologies. I am Esmeralda Tuspels. This is my museum of waxwork. What? You're the Madame Tuspels? Bien so. Though only 26 years young, I might add. See, she's around my age. She cute. Is that significant somehow? I'm a madam in name only. Answer to je ne sais quoi. Did I say that right? Je ne sais quoi? I don't know any French. What? I can like a girl? Like you can look, it's gonna happen when I play Persona 3 Reload, because there's a bunch of girls you can potentially date, so it's gonna happen, okay? I'm gonna have a waifu. Right. Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks. Or, rather, one waxwork in particular. That'll be Mr. Sholmes, then. I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle. Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble. Oh. She just pulled out the molten lava. Oh no. Don't. I can't get over him. The tumble. The tumble. An instant prop up. Oh my god, I love it. She sounds deadly serious. That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Von Zeke's now? Let's not forget what Hurley said before. About something being afoot. Right here in the museum, I mean. Yes, I know, but... I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here. Let's talk about this. Come on. Haven't we got enough on our plate already? Alright, I'm gonna first adjust how I'm sitting. Because after it, I mean, it's the result of doing the stretches, kind of stretching my neck to try and make it more flexible. Because it's like super stiff. Body's not used to it at all. Alright, let's present our armband. Madam, there's something I'd like to show you. Yes, what is that? I remarked on it to myself immediately, and I've been very curious since. Ah, well, it's actually the mark of a defense lawyer in the Empire of Japan. Oh. Quel dommage. Not quite as interesting as I'd hoped. Oh, I don't know how to do a French accent. Not exactly what we're expecting from an armband. I should try to sound a little French, but I don't know how to sound French. Alright, let's talk about the waxworks. Do you make all these waxworks, Madame Tuspels? I did. I am the third generation of waxwork artisans, you know. Gosh! It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were checkered, living through the turbulent life of the French Revolution as she did. Though that is when she acquired this savoir-faire. Savoir-faire? That leads to the astonishing likeliness. Or lifelikeness. All these waxworks really do look as though they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than Hurley. What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All the waxworks were created in the presence of the real people on which they are modeled. In the hours immediately following their executions, that is the secret to the extraordinary lifelikeness. That sounds terrifying. All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibit's a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see. Ugh. Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying? Right? Do not fear. Sorry? This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. A macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope. It was Iris who dragged me straight in here, come to think of it. Sorry, perhaps I should have eased you into things. Yeah, brought me into the murder room. You have to potty? Oh, no. Better go potty. And you were coming. Wait, what? What do you mean I'm coming with you? I'm not. What? How's that gonna work? Oh no. The Great Detective Waxwork. Oh boy. What's the situation with that? Ah, my temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal. Oh, what sort of proposal? My dear madam, what these waxworks need is the addition of a world-famous Greek detective. Or words to that effect. Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known as London as a talented detective. It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about it. Yes, the creme de la creme. So I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms. Let me guess, someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services? For a mere 500 pounds, I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment. Or words to that effect. 500 pounds? Wild. Mr. Sholmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch. Regrettably, The museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current arrangement instead. Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing though, does he? I would think not, but he was very insistent. I have a 50 shilling problem that must be resolved by the morning. Or words to that effect. It's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. Must have something to redeem. Is the consulting detective work not going so well? Oh, of course. It's just because of the pawn shop. There's something afoot. I wonder, can I ask you something? Bien, sir? I'm just curious, is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Oh, apparently. Whoever suggested such a thing to you? Oh, well, it was... Where'd he go? Your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Oh! He's disappeared. A wax model is a work of art. A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. Ah! Oh, hi. There you are. Leaving the exhibit again when you should be working. Oh no. Do you wish to be melted down? Duh. My dear Madame Taspel, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. There are ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police. Why ever not? She's turned as wise as she. Because you have at your disposal a great detective whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. Don't please be aware that I prefer... No, I insist upon payment in advance. He's just trying to make a quick buck. I respect the fight to get money, but it's not gonna work. I don't think so. 'Cause there's like literally the only thing that we could see is the hand. Very well. Oh, she's actually she's agreeing. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we? Before I engage my analytical process, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain? That is the Taspel special exhibit. There's an extra charge to see it. Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a special killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder? Ah, absolute but none. There's nothing amiss behind there. Absolute but none? Absolute but none. I can't... Absolute but none. Absolute but none. You have to say that so quick. Nothing amiss, madam. What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? Ah! I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond, before the situation worsens. Ooh. Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only a second. Second, I assume. Oh! Number 139? I must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The Taspel special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet, somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however, is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor. Well then perhaps, Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself. I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Oh! Oh! He dead! He dead! He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even waxwork at that. No, he was in a juror. What? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit. Why? Why would you say that? And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime. Ah! She looks as pale as candle wax. I don't understand. So, Madame Tuspels, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Oh, well, you're right. You're right, Naomi. It's time for another deduction game. Alright, the Waxworks Fate. I like doing these, as he's now posing still. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some 200 pounds. That is all my own money. That is all my own money. So what does this large sum of money reveal? The money is something. Not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tuspels. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that public notice. No. He's a little off. Waxwork for sale. Your business is in hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer the centerpiece of your sexual exhibit for the sum of 200 pounds. None! Well, the way she reacted, it's kind of right. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? That's not a juror. It would appear the man has suffered severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds. What? It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively. What are you suggesting? He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of 200 pounds. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result, the scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock. Yes, the killer in the special exhibit fetched a killer price. Killer piece. I only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not played with regret. Sold for cash. Okay. Waxwork location. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider the problem for a moment. You cannot possibly... What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief. Such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force the crimes being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman, currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards. But next, we turn attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork. Ah, but you... Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madam. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe. Oh, he does have the telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork. Waxwork is the obvious price tag. Threepence? A tragically low price, you might say. Though perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant 200 pounds. The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract attention in Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madam? I do not... Yes? What you say? DMs? Oh. Never mind. You were right. I gotta see the model again. Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit and not a moment too soon. Conclusion discovered already. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. He's a little off. She's got the cauldron ready. I see I've stunned you all into silence. You have, Hurley, you have. And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot. If I could just bring up 1 point, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, the notorious Naruhodo, 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow. According to your deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So that would mean that he's the particularly ludicrous murderer, wouldn't it? The killer policeman, Ottermole. Sorry? It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether. And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself! A senior officer by the name of Ottermole. So you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man there is supposed to be? Indeed, it is a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well. But is 200 pounds a lot of money for a wax model? It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things in perspective. So it is quite a lot then. Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down. That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous. Smell of that molten wax is starting to worry me. Shums did more or less just accuse her to her face, so I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's alright. Make some minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions. Of course it's alright. We'll soon set things straight. Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Manita Spells vents her anger. Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame Spells, in accordance with our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Alright, course correction. I probably won't... Oh, I still gotta voice act it. Because some lines change. Who knows? Well, let's not jump ahead yet. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. I don't know. Let's not jump ahead, Naomi. There's so much we don't even know what actually is. We don't even know what actually happened here yet. We need to solve this before we can even think of anything. In my estimation, some 200 pounds. That is all my own money. So, what does this large sum of money reveal? Ah, not as much as the voluntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Spells. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds was revealed by that public notice. No. She definitely looked in this direction, it's true. I'm not sure she'd sell any of her waxworks even for 200 pounds. Oh? She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. For me, I wouldn't sell them for anything. For that much money, I would. But it sounds like that makes me a bad person. Look, I need the money. Well, anyway, I wonder if the 200 pounds could have some other significance. Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if there's anything else that could explain it. Ooh! Note on the wall. What's that note doing pinned on the wall there? Oh yes, let's see. Dear Madame Spells, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for his safe return is 200 pounds. Oh, so there was a thief. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd October. What? This is just like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped. Yes, it's a ransom note. Exactly. Alright, to be fair, you would not be able to see that looking in this direction. So, I'm gonna look at it again. You're right, it is the same juror. I'm seeing all the similarities now. That's wild. What a random person. Alright, well, I can present it.
Take that!
Take that! Buy that ransom note. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note. Quite so. We must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness abducting waxwork. Ah! 200 pounds is no small ransom fee, but you clearly intend to pay it. The model in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have. In summary then, the 200 pounds you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It appears the man has suffered a severe shock, the chaos of which is clearly known to you. Ah! Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds! Nope. So the waxwork was kidnapped. Where does that leave us in terms of who this man is? Let me just ask him when he comes round. I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris. Yes, you're right. Hurley's trying so hard, we mustn't let him down. Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock, that much seems clear. In that case, what's Madame Tussauds trying to hide? Let's have a closer look around. Oh! She's hiding the wax arm. This is just Madame Tussauds' right hand, isn't it? Yes, it must be. I can clearly see your left hand after all. Oh, but wait a minute. It's a left hand as well, look! Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please! And it seems very stiff, too. I know other things are stiff, I mean, what? In fact, it's really hard! I know other things that are really hard, I mean, what? The jokes write themselves, folks! You mean... it's made of wax? Yeah, hey, the game makes the jokes. The game... Blame the game, not me.
Take that!
What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a serious, substantial blow. How could you? The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that, in fact, it's a left hand. And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madam. It is the hand of a waxwork model. Yow! Some of the visitors to the museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage. So you mean that arm? Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir. Oh. So okay, so the juror was just trying to be a thief. That's all it is. Nothing crazy. Huh, no small keepsake. Like taking a whole bunch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms. A whole branch of a cherry tree. I'm afraid I had to teach the man a lesson. He had to really put himself together. You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. And the result, the scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later. For the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer special exhibit had been kidnapped. Right, we can't worry about the guy at the moment. Alright, so the waxwork location, we have no idea. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let's consider the problem for a moment. You cannot possibly... What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief. According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway. A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes. The secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard. That Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away. Well, uncovering secrets isn't any true detective's nature, of course. Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Tussauds' reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly. Oh, is it the... Oh, that was the arm the guy tried to steal. What the? The man has a stub sticking out his shoulder where his arm should be. Ah, well that sounds that then. Right, this isn't a real person at all. Their arm's been ripped off from the shoulder down. His arm's been Of course, that ties in with what we just found out.
Take that!
The shoulder stub. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe shoulder stub. No such boneless human walks this earth. Of that I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact, defying all odds, a waxwork model. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes. Till you turn the lights off of him! He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man. Naturally, what other explanation could there be? And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in this special exhibit, wasn't it? Next, we turn our attention to the old man set behind it, for him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork. Ah, but you... The reaction only confirms my suspicions, madam. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe! The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. A killer policeman called Ottermole, was it? Was he well known? It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price, though. Tuppence isn't much money. Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Garredub's delightful lodgings, in fact. So, this is a special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for 200 pounds. Is this crusty old killer policeman Ottermole? Really? Perhaps we should go look around again and see if another idea crops up. Okay. Oh! It's an actual person. Look at this. The old man's tapping his foot like crazy. Seems he's fast asleep though. He's not tapping his foot consciously then? So you mean... Must be a twitch. Never mind that. The point is, waxworks don't tap their feet. A twitch. And look at his arm too. We've seen a scarf like that somewhere else around here, haven't we? Oh, hold on. Let's look at it. I don't believe it. It's a secret sign that lets our detectives know some criminal activity is underway. Yes, it's a slightly strange choice of outfit if he was trying to go unnoticed. Ah, must be a detective disguised as a policeman. Or a detective disguised as a waxwork model policeman. It doesn't look like he's clever enough to think of something like that, though. Perhaps you should try to be a little more polite about him, Iris. Well...
Take that!
Gotta talk about the twitch. Trying to be sneaky. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man's waxwork is the obvious twitch. Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, this splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard. Slight shift in your choice of adjectives then. And there you have it. Well, Madame Tuspels? Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place. Or come in the first place. He is clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep. But then, what's this tag about showing a price of 3 pence? No doubt the price tag of the muffler which the old Bobby purchased recently at the local market. And I presume you will observe the scarf tied around his arm? Does that strike you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, the secret sign used by detectives show that some criminal activity is currently underway. Of course, because, as you know, there's been just such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, Detective. So, it would seem that we finally arrived at the truth. The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped. Scotland Yard are investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. Still a mystery, yup. We're done. Poor guy's asleep and he just can't stop moving his leg. All sorts of people visit my museum here. Men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Anyway... Oh! Cute twirl. Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe. It was a pleasure, my dear madam. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display. If it was indeed genuinely abducted, yes, tragically it was. Then I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please. Very well. But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work. Back to the pose. The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish. Alright. Well, now we can take a look at him. At a bunch of stuff, right? Yeah, we can take a look at stuff. Oh yeah, you can't even see his foot tapping from here, so you wouldn't have known. These models are so well made, I can't tell what's a waxwork and what's a real human. That's how Harley gets away with making himself a temporary exhibit for the day. Maybe there are other people posing exhibits in here then. Or maybe all the exhibits are real people. He's asleep. Don't worry about it. When it's closing time and all the visitors have gone home, they suddenly start moving again. Moving about. Just thinking about it makes me wish it was a closing time already and I was on my way home. Huh. So they say the same thing. Interesting. It's just a collapsed man. At least it turned out he's not one of the mass murderous victims. True, but he is one of the waxworks victims in a way, isn't he? He's not showing any signs of life. Because he really is dead. Come on, you're always pointing that finger of yours in court. Poke that arm now and see how it feels. Objection. I'm not poking him. Alright, we'll just talk. The stolen waxwork. Oh, I lost connection to chat. Briefly. That was weird. I don't think I missed anything. I don't know. I don't think I missed anything. Oh, I found the stink bug again. It is getting closer. I'll get rid of it later. It hasn't buzzed around at least, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Still hate it though. I hate stink bugs so much. Let's learn about the stolen waxwork, please. It was some days ago now when I came in here one morning. I immediately noticed that waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here. It's your most prominent display. So that's why the curtains were closed. And I found the ransom note in its place. Culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then? So this waxwork that was stolen was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose? Who was it? Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say. The Professor. Not a name I've heard of. The Professor? So, Mr. Naruhodo, it seems the circle is complete. Sorry? Professor case happened around the time I was born, didn't it? Indeed it did, Iris. Moriarty? 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital. 10 years ago? Yes, at exactly the time that Baron von Zieks graduated from university, in fact. At the same time? What? Surely he's not saying... Is it the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life? As you've surmised, it was the Professor case. Who was this Professor then? Who's the Professor? It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5... Not Mori doing disguise. No, I think it's Kazuma. Even Ryunosuke was had a suspicion that it was Kazuma based on his based on how calm and collected he was. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death. And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present, on account of the abduction. But I don't understand. How is all this related to Lord von Zieks? Let's first understand, my dear fellow, why it is that the Professor earned such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's finest. Did he kill von Zieks' family? Like parents, siblings? What do you mean, Hurley? Those murdered by the Professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy. Members of the nobility, the royalty. Wow. Royalty? It sent shockwaves through the country's administration. Members of the... Ah, wait, of course! Professor Harebrain said, Von Zieks is from a family with noble blood. Oh gosh! It was the 5th victim that led to Professor's arrest. The last of the killer's plays was a young noble by the name of... Clint von Zieks. Brother? No! I don't believe it! Von Zieks? I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder... Oh. It was his older brother. Okay. The young Barak pursued a career as a prosecutor, and eventually became the Reaper we know today. That's terrible. I had no idea Lord von Zieks had such a tragic past. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter, for the time being at least. After all, I have work to do. As a waxwork exhibit. Jeez. I'm afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well. Oh, yes, of course. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Well, None of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. Oh wait, what? Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. Oh! Oh, whoa, wait, hold on. Hold on. Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. It's been too long, it really has. I'm delighted to see you, Barak. It's been 10 years. Here we are, meeting in a prison of all places. I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Asman. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen. Tomorrow, the court will decide. Yes! I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident, a terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it. I must warn you. Oh, I know. I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you? Yes. Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Beric, are you really... What? Never mind. I know that you have my best interests at heart. My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else. Of course, I fully understand. Aww. Thank you, Barak. Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court. So he's doing this specifically because it's his friend. Interesting. Interesting. Well. Just save here. And that is going to do it. We finished up the entire investigation and we're going to trial. And that's normally the perfect time to end stream. So next week, it'll be trial time. It honestly was great that I could get back to streaming. It feels good. I know. We did what we had to. Poor Van Zeeks, though. Gotta worry. I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, night, Naomi. And for everyone who watches, I'm happy to be back. Enjoy watching. I'm gonna try to post this sooner from the night I actually stream it. So this is I'm gonna upload it right to YouTube as soon as I can. I'm gonna try to make a habit of that. So yeah. So have a good night. I will see you tomorrow. Resident Evil continues. I do my Claire B route or Claire's second route on hardcore. It's gonna be fun. So take care, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.